So welcome to the live. My name is Pascal, Momentum Training Solutions, and if you're watching me here today, this live is going to help. Is going to be like a quick guide on how you can start a career in construction. You can start a career in construction and within 12 months see yourself accelerate and go up. Now, this is the thing. Tell me any if. I mean, I've lived and worked in the UK for 30 years. But you tell me in which industry, with which industry, with only 3 days training, for anybody who has little or no experience before coming into the industry, within 3 days training, would be able to make £19 an hour, 19 to 22 pounds an hour. That's roughly, if it's a 12-hour shift, 228 can make 200 plus a day. So let's bring it down to 200 a day, working 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, no need for overtime, and can make £1,000 a week. £1,000 a week. If you multiply that by 4 weeks being 1 month, that's 4,500. No, £4,000, yeah? The reason I was saying 4,500 is because one of the things you've got to remember is there are 13 business months. I mean, we used January to December, but from a business point of view, you've got 13 business months because there are 4 months in a year that have got 5 weeks. July is one of them. March is one of them. October is one of them. So there are four months in a week. So you're talking about 4,000 plus. But let's work with 4,000. Let's work with the 12 months that we all know. So you tell me, how many businesses, how many industry, whether it is banking, where number two, where with 3 days training, you can earn up to £200 a day. That's £1,000 a week, £1,000 a week. And within 12 to 24 months, you can move from the lowest end to a supervisor and possibly even a site manager. But this will involve you adding a few skills along the line. You tell me. That's the question I'm going to ask today. And while you're thinking about it, if you said construction, then you're right. If you said construction, then you got it, my friend. Because construction is one of those sectors that you can start with. You can start with as little as 3 days training. You can start with 3 days training, take a course as a plant operator. That's a machine operator. There are different plant operators. There's a dump truck. You've got your telehandler. You've got your bulldozers. You've got excavators. You've got your low loaders. But let's start with the simplest one, which is a dump truck. A dump truck is just like driving a big pickup. It's like driving just a car. Because if you want to move right, if you've driven a small car, then you can drive a dump truck. It's just a bit bigger and it's got 6 wheels. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. You're driving a 6-wheel vehicle. Yeah. But the thing is, as I said again, it takes 3 days training. How do I know that? Momentum Training Solutions, we provide the training, and many other providers up and down the country provide it. On average, if you're working CIS, it's 19 to 22 pounds an hour. 19 to 22 pounds an hour. Yeah. I entered plant operator. I entered and I became a plant operator over 10 years ago. That's how that was the route I used to enter into construction. I couldn't believe it. Back in the days, this is nearly the early 2010s. Back in the day, the minimum wage in the UK was £10 an hour. With a 3-day training, I was exposed to 17, 18 pounds an hour, nearly double what the minimum wage was. Yeah. 3 days training. That's interesting. I kid you not. 3 days training. That's all it took. And that's all it can take today. So if you're working in a warehouse, right? If you're working in a factory, you're working as a delivery driver, you're working in the healthcare center, you're working in the hospitality center, and the money that you're being paid is not, you're finding yourself, let's say today is the 5th of the month, and it's a 5th of the month, and you're finding yourself where direct debits have gone out, and you're left with little or nothing in your account. You're left with a few £100 in your account. And perhaps you're living month to month, you're struggling financially. Or you're a student, you've just finished and you don't know where to start. Or perhaps you're in a career, but maybe it's stressful to you. It was not like it used to be. And you just want something simple, something simple, but you can get paid a decent wage without the extra pressure, without the extra need for doing overtime, working 6-7 days a week. Construction is there for you, my friend. Construction is there for you. And it's very easy. How do you enter construction? Yeah. How do you enter? First, you've got to become site ready. Get a CSCS green card. Once you've got that, do a training, 3-day training as a plant operator, and you're good to go. That's it. It can take as little as 30 days to get you site ready and working as a plant operator. And currently, there's a massive demand for construction work in the UK. There's an organization called CITB. They published a report just in June, and they say that the UK is facing a crisis. To meet the current demand within the next few years, to the end of this decade, they need at least 250,000 new construction workers. There's a lot of construction work. There's just not room to meet it. Yeah. And construction, for most people, when they think about construction, they're thinking about physical work, manual labor. That's just one aspect of construction. With over 10 years in construction, I never did any manual job. I came in as a plant operator. You could start as a plant operator, then work your way to become a supervisor, then work your way to become a what do you call it, site manager, then work your way to become a project manager. It is possible. It's one of those industries where you can scale up within 2 to 5 years without needing a degree. We've got plant operators who are making 70,000, nearly 80,000 plus a year just operating a machine. No degree needed, but no degree needed. Yeah. So friends, mine here is to just kind of urge you as well. Consider starting a career in construction. Yeah. Thank you very much, and have a nice day, have a nice evening, or whatever you're doing. Thank you.